If you work with lots of tracks like I do, then you're going to love track visibility, and chances are you're going to want to save your own configurations. And that can be done up here in the toolbar under the Configurations button. So let me give you an idea of how to make your own configurations. I'm going to click on the Filter Track Types button, and I'm going to select only instrument and MIDI tracks, because maybe you do a lot of MIDI editing between those two track types. So with those two filters enabled, I can now come to the Configurations button and I can create a configuration. I'm going to call this Instrument and MIDI. Then maybe we want to just be able to see our audio tracks. So I'm going to come back to the Filter Track Types button and I'm going to enable the audio tracks, but no other tracks. Now I can come to the Configuration button and I can create another new configuration. And this one's just going to be called Audio. Now I have two different track type configurations. I can come here and choose Instrument and MIDI tracks, which will show me just those tracks, or I could choose the audio configuration, and that will show me just the audio tracks. So if there are specific track types that you like to edit at the same time and have visible in your project window, by creating your own configurations, it makes it really easy to see only the tracks that you want to see. And then there are a couple of other things I want to show you. You could also update a configuration to include other track types. For example, if I selected the instrument and MIDI configuration, but thought, oh, I would like to be able to see the arranger that I had as part of this project, I could choose Other Tracks and then come to the Configuration button and update that configuration. That way, the arranger track will be part of that configuration, and it will also show me things like the tempo track and the time signature track and markers and so forth. But since I don't have those tracks in this project, they're currently not showing in the track list. And then you can also do a couple of other things like renaming the configurations or deleting the configurations, or you could move the configuration to place them higher or lower in your configuration list. For example, if I wanted audio to be first, but instrument and MIDI second, I would move the one that's selected, which is number 1, and I would move it into the number 2 slot. That way, audio is now at the top, and the instrument and MIDI configuration has been moved to the second position. Now I'm going to make one more because I use that configuration a lot. This is just going to be called All, and I'm going to do it in all capital letters. And then I'm going to move the All to the very first position, because I want to use a configuration that will show me all of the track types. So I'm going to go to the Filter button and just click on All Track Types. And then I'm going to update that configuration. So that way I don't have to choose individual types of commonly edited tracks. Instead, I can go to all the audio tracks, or just the instrument and MIDI tracks, and all of the tracks at the same time without having to go to the Filter Track Types button. Now bear in mind that all of those configurations are project specific. In other words, when you save those configurations, they become part of the project, but they won't be available in any other project. To do that, you'd have to use one of the filter agents, which I'm going to talk about in the next tutorial. But bear in mind that if you use templates, then you could save those configurations in the template, and that way they will become part of any new project that is created from that template. And next, I'm going to show you another advanced track visibility feature, which are the agents.